Sun Tzu was a great Chinese general, a thinker, and a master of strategy who lived more than 2,000 years ago. During the Eastern Zhou dynasty, and his name has become a legend not only in China, but across the whole world. He is remembered because he wrote The Art of War, one of the most powerful books ever written. A book so wise that it was used by emperors, kings, leaders, generals, and even modern business people and politicians. And what made Sun Tzu different from other generals was not that he had the biggest army or the sharpest swords. It was because he had the sharpest mind. He believed that the best victory is the one that comes without fighting. He believed that battles are won in the mind before they are fought on the ground. And because of this, he saved many lives, he protected cities, and he showed the world that true power is in wisdom, not in blind force. And this is why his teaching has lasted more than 2,000 years and is still used today. And in his book, he divided his wisdom into 13 parts, each one full of lessons, and the very first part is called laying plans. Because every great action begins with a plan, every strong building begins with a foundation, and every victory begins with thinking. And the one who does not plan at all is already defeated. And so planning is the root of all victory. And Sun Tzu says there are 5 roots of planning, 5 constant factors that must always be thought about before war. They are the way, heaven, earth, the commander, and method, and discipline. And these 5 are like the 5 fingers of a hand. Only together can they grasp victory. The way is the harmony between the ruler and the people. But when the ruler is cruel and greedy, the people will turn against him, and even the strongest army will break apart. Heaven means the power of nature. The sun, the moon, the cold, the heat, the storms, the seasons, and all that is beyond human control. For war is not only against men, but also against time and weather. Earth means the ground, the mountains, the valleys, the rivers, the deserts, the roads, forests, all the land that can help or harm an army. The commander means the quality of the leader, his wisdom, his courage, his honesty, his discipline, and his calm. Because a foolish commander is like a blind man leading others into darkness, but a wise commander is like a torch in the night. That guides his people to safety, and method and discipline mean the structure of the army, the ranks, the supply of food, the order of weapons, the system of rewards and punishments. For without order an army is nothing but a mob, but with order an army is a sharp blade that can cut through any obstacle. And Sun Tzu says that before every war a general must measure both sides by these 5 roots. He must ask which ruler has the way, which general has skill, which army understands heaven and earth, which side has order, which side is stronger, which side is better trained, and which side rewards and punishes with fairness. And when the general knows these answers, he already knows who will win, for the wise general wins in the mind first and then fights, while the foolish general fights first and then tries to win. And this is why Sun Tzu begins with plans. And Sun Tzu also teaches that war is not only numbers and weapons, war is deception. War is the art of making the enemy believe lies. War is the art of hiding your truth and showing false shapes. He says, when you are strong, you must look weak. When you are weak, you must look strong. When you are near, you must make the enemy think you are far. When you are far, you must make him think you are near. When you are ready, you must look unready. When you are unready, you must look ready. He sees silence and thinks it is weakness. He sees calm and thinks it is fear. And then he falls when you strike. And Sun Tzu shows that a good general must not be ruled by anger or greed. He must be calm like still water. He must be wise like the mountain. He must count numbers, food, weapons, distance, and time. For the side that counts well has the advantage, but the side that does not count starves, freezes, and falls. And so the easy path in the army must be like water flowing where the enemy is weak, avoiding where he is strong, striking where he does not. Expect and moving with the shape of the land. And Sun Tzu says the best victory is not to destroy the enemy's army, but to destroy his plan. The best victory is not to capture his city, but to capture his mind. For if you defeat his plan, the war ends before it begins if you break his will. Plans. One of the most famous is the empty city stratagem used by Juge Liang many years after Sun Tzu, when his army was weak and the enemy was many. Juge Liang opened the city gates, swept the floor, and sat calmly playing music. The enemy thought it was a trap. They thought thousands of soldiers were hidden. They feared walking into death, and so they fled without a fight. Where one state tricked another by using fire, they pretended to retreat and left behind wagons of food. The hungry enemy rushed forward to take the food, but it was a trap, and fire was set behind them, cutting them off, and they were destroyed. This shows how deception and planning are sharper than swords. And there is also the story of an army that marched without counting food and water. They thought numbers alone would win. But they starved, they froze in the cold, and they fell without even fighting. And this shows the danger of no plans. And so Sun Tzu says, laying plans is the first step. It is the root under the tree. It is the ground under the army. Without it, there is no victory. With it, victory is near before the battle even begins. And he says, if you know the enemy and you know yourself, you will not fear 100 battles. If you know yourself but not the enemy, you may win or lose. If you know neither, you will always lose. And this teaching is not only for war. And Sun Tzu teaches that the wise general is like water flowing downhill. He waits for the right time. He moves with nature. He strikes like thunder, and then he rests. But the foolish general is like water trying to flow uphill. So Sun Tzu teaches patience, wisdom, and balance. He teaches that anger is the enemy of plans. Greed is the poison of victory. Fear is the shadow that blinds. But calm is the sword that cuts clear, and the wise general must always appear where the enemy does not expect. He must strike where the enemy is unprepared. He must create shapes that confuse, sounds that mislead, paths that distract. Shows small armies beating great ones through trick and plan, and great armies falling. Because of pride and blindness, kingdoms rising and falling, not by numbers, but by wisdom. And Sun Tzu's teaching is the map of all this. And so in laying plans, he gives us the first secret, that without planning no war can be won, but with planning the war is already decided. And this is why the art of war begins with plans, because the one who holds the plan already holds the victory. And this wisdom has lasted more than 2,000 years, because it is true not only in war, but in every struggle, every battle of life. And if you learn from Sun Tzu and use his wisdom, you will win in war, in business, in leadership, and in life, and this is why we still read him today. And if you want more secrets from Sun Tzu and the art of war, hey, do not forget to like this video, share it with others, and comment below, so we can bring you more from this ancient book that still guides the world today.